Well, it's cool to have Barcode back playing here in the North American Strikers League. Not sure where Megaverse is off to, but it'll be interesting to see how that affects Showtime's performance coming on in here. We've already got that first draft up on the screen below you as we do start to load onto the game itself. But looking like the Bozo Bunch bringing out the Drakkar, a pick that we haven't gotten to see a whole bunch of. Curious how they're going to be able to perform on this one in what looks like a little bit of an unusual composition. Probably going to be Drakkar in the goal box, it looks like.
It definitely does look like that Drakkar goalie. Like you said, character we don't see too terribly often, but in the right hands can be performing well. But with the Now and Asher on the forward duo, that's going to be a lot of pressure, but a couple ways to work around Asher on the defense. But that said, we've got Mako, Rasmus, and Kai. Rasmus Kai, a good forward duo for core control. Not going to be as much damage, but should someone find themselves staggered, I'm sure that the Joker will be able to pick them off just fine. And Shionzu, player that has a bit of notoriety within this scene, we'll have to see how it performs here as we get into this first game. Let's look at these starting awakenings that all the players have picked. It's going to be 6 Orb Dancers and 1 kill going to the side of Showtime as we lead off this game.
Yeah, definitely going to be an early KO for Showtime here as they take to the field. Going to look to see if they can take that into a second barrier already. Joker setting up with this Rasmus, and Shionzu coming in on the Kai on the bottom, trying to get things back in towards position. Bunch are going to be able to try to clear things back out using some of those close melee range drones, and Purebreds on the Drakkar goalie so far done a good job of being able to hold on towards this remaining barrier. Dropletto trying to take it on towards the bottom side, but Shionzu going to be able to keep on sending it through, bounces it off the center, now sending it back over to Joker. Buncher dueling back and forth with Shionzu here, and Dropletto finally getting the breakaway they were looking for, caught in the ensnare drums, and somehow still not able to push it on towards that barrier. Lockdown defense out of Barcode so far in their first game back here in the North American Strikers League. Finally, Dropletto going to be able to find one and turn it immediately into a second off the back of the rebound. An open goal available for the Bozo Bunch. Flip out of Muncher right into Dropletto, who flips it themselves, but Barcode hangs out of the defense the whole way through. Shionzu helping out on the assist.
Yeah, multiple flips coming out here, but a third goes down. But Barcode might be seeing the light of another day if they can survive here.
Oh, fighting for it. Oh, right up into the top corner. Obscurebreds sending it from midfield, gets it on through. And the goalie going to be the first one here with that score.
Yep, a quick goal there, but we saw a lot of flips come out, and that's one of the things with this Orb Dancer start is players are going to be pining for those orbs a lot more than you might see in some other games, and that's going to be a lot of energy that goes around, but the energy is on the side of Showtime as they are getting the energy into the enemy net, but they do get that breakaway on the defense.
Yeah, there's going to be another fight here. Potentially a duel for it. Dropletto pushing up towards the top barrier. Going to be able to find the second one. Muncher able to help out on the rebounding, able to guarantee that this aggression does not stop, and even 2 versus 3 with Joker falling back to help out on the defense. Bozo Bunch been able to put themselves together a pretty strong rally here. Nice follow-up from Muncher. There's Dropletto ready to receive, and they take it 2-0.
There was a quick mix-up there by I. They did the flip and then had the primary ready to mix up the timing of the core to get it past the strike, and then Dropletto, of course, funneling in there. Excellent offensive play by the team, the Bozo Bunch. But that said, Showtime, not quite out of this yet. They're getting these barriers relatively consistently. It's just how they end these rounds that they need to get going. But that said, they're getting these barriers taken left and right. It's a bit of back and forth here, but there's a lot of damage coming out.
Yeah, there's going to be the pass on over towards the center. Shionzu going to be able to fight for it. Obscurebreds juking back and forth, passes it up towards the top. There's going to be the explosion off of the center. And Muncher going to be able to fight for it here at midfield. Shionzu gets taken off the bottom. Dropletto going to be able to close out that one. Barcode gently escorting the core back around this barrier to be able to keep up the defense. This power play looking like it's going to expire pretty quickly. The core just moving so slowly and steadily. Not really going to be able to get anything done in that timing. Pushing forward, Dropletto tries to set up for another path splitter. There's going to be the ultimate coming on out. They will be able to get it through on towards the barrier. And now sending it forward once again. Flip comes out of Dropletto, doesn't quite snag on towards the core. Muncher has to fall back using that lifeline. Gets it back into Dropletto's hands. The barrier beam not going to be able to send it through into the goal. Barcode does end up stunned up by it, but Four not right in the right position. Dropletto sent back up towards the top, nearly staggered, nearly taken down. Death Touch and Pendulum Swing will close it out for the Joker. And now it's a power play for Showtime as they try to get themselves their first point in the game and fight their way back in. Nice Pendulum Swing out of Joker will open things up. Shionzu coming on up with a passing play. Joker sends it down, and it's 2-1. Showtime on the board.
But Xenocloak just barely not fast enough to get them where they need to go. So that is going to be a point that's going to start evening things up here. But I'm seeing a lot of good patience on these defenses, even in the face of these power plays. But one thing I'm noticing is that the lineups on these core flips just haven't been quite exactly what they need. Maybe a little bit of mistiming on something like the Asher primary, not quite having the hitbox out yet before the flip comes out. We just need to see some slight adjustments to have these flips really go crazy there. We just missed the strike, but it's the first game, it's the first round, the first set. We just have to get them through here. But that said, I is taking a lot of damage, but they do manage to heal up with that now ultimate. And there we see the orbs getting picked up. This orb dancer, you really got to be careful. Make sure you don't lose these stacks, as Dropletto has only one at the moment. But it's actually pretty difficult because to take the stack for yourself, you have to take yourself out of the play a bit. But now these players are getting into this defense.
Yeah, Dropletto coming in for another push here with the Path Splitter. They will be able to take the second barrier. Dropletto getting forced on back. And there's going to be another dash forward. The lock and load comes through from Obscure Breads, and there's going to be another push through. Dropletto going to be forcing another fight with Joker, keeping him very low on the stagger. Shionzu uses the barrage to keep fending on off those barriers. Another dash punch from Dropletto. Muncher forcing it through, taking it 3-1 for the Bozo Bunch.
That looked like the latest possible strike they could have gotten there, and they are rewarded with the first pick in this draft. We could see something like the Monumentalist come out, but instead we see potentially a Stinger pickup here by I. This could be a lot of damage in these pockets where a lot of the offensive plays happen. But that said, that's going to leave quite the slew of options for Obscure Breads here, as that rapid fire is almost certainly going to be taken as a denial, but it is the hot shot denied away from Barcode, and also just an excellent pickup here to get those shotguns back locked and loaded. Twin Drive is going to be a lot of speed coming out here. The aerial pickup on Kai is going to be really nice to get those Giga Blasts where you need them to go, as well as the barrages, and then the prize fighter. We saw towards the end of that round, we did see the dash flip kill. Shoutouts to Al Dente putting on a performance there. But Dropletto finding these kills, these KO prize fighter stacks are going to be stacking up. But that said, these barrier kills are also stacking up as it's 1-1 both sides.
Yeah, there's another barrage coming through in towards that remaining barrier, and Bozo Bunch are just not letting up on this aggression. They have been able to take both barriers in a quick time, and despite the KO, Dropletto gonna send it through, keeps pushing up and up and up, and Barcode cannot keep pace. First goal of set number 2 to the Bozo Bunch.
That is an important goal to win if you're Dropletto in that exact moment, because Muncher has just lost all of their Orb Dancer stacks with that kill, so you have to win that interaction quick. But that said, with them stacking it back up in this midfield here, it is going to leave the defense in that 2v2 situation, and they do take a barrier as compensation, but now they've gotten a barrier of their own, and that Hook is looking to potentially start a goal here.
Absolutely here. There's the fending back and forth. Dropletto comes on forward for another attempt at the barrier. Open goal already been secured for Showtime, of course. Obscure Bread sends it on forward. Joker with a well-placed pendulum swing takes it into the goal and ties things up at 1-1 in the set.
Making excellent use of that primary. They did not take Might of the Colossus, which would have given them some size to really put the pressure on, but I think that is the right call here when everybody else is moving so quickly, so many orbs being taken, you have to fight over them, and being given a reason to is definitely good. There we see, like we mentioned, those orbs being picked up, but 2 barriers being picked up for the offense of the Bozo Bunch.
Great place on the flip. Now going to be able to look for another. Dropletto coming on through. The drone falls into place for Muncher, sending it back up towards this Asher barrier beam, trying to get the hit stuns onto Barcode, and Snare Drums going to hold Dropletto up and stop the play. Obscure Breads emerges from the goal arc and goes in for the flip. Will get deflected away, and he's going to have to fall back, continuing to use that strike shot. Muncher sends it back over to Dropletto. Dropletto sends it into the center once again, passing plays back and forth. Muncher to Dropletto, back to Dropletto. And now going back in towards the goal. Another path splitter comes on across. Could have been a great shot, but they're not quite able to get over towards the barrier in time. Somehow that KO ended up coming on through. I think that was the Molten Bolt just taking off the map there for the Joker and setting up for another attempt from the side of the Bozo Bunch. They still aren't quite able to get it all the way through into the goal. Obscurebreds back over to Dropletto, down towards Muncher, follow up with the drone, and right between the legs. Barcode can't get to it in time. It's going to be 2-1.
If Muncher keeps up with this performance and they win this next round, that could be really bad for the side of Showtime, as that would be another now MVP. With Monumentalist still on the table, you have to be wary of that. Either you need to pick up the pace and start getting these goals for yourselves, or potentially funnel the offense a bit more into the defense to allow the goalie to have to take that first pick. But that said, a quick barrier is taken, but Joker fighting a retaliation, resources used, but the Sad Boys angle and the clear.
Wow.
Excellent clear by Obscurebreds there as Dropletto finds themselves a kill with the flip available. This could start a huge power play.
Dropping the emote there as well. What a beautiful control over the core there. Hanging out of that barrier for way too long, eventually securing the team the KO with that timing it allowed. And now with both barriers open, a shot at set number 2 here for the Bozo Bunch. Resetting their aggression. There's going to be the ensnare drums, holding down Dropletto for a little bit of time. Cooldown going to keep on going, though. Drum and bass coming on across for Barcode, going to be released. Shionzu trying to take it up towards the top, snagging away that core, getting that extra movement speed. Dropletto can't quite keep pace with it, trying to take Shionzu up towards the top, not able to finish him off. Barrier beam coming up soon. Shionzu able to dodge away from it. Joker goes in with the death touch. Flip comes out of Obscurebreds to keep things cleared away from the barrier, but Joker comes back with a strike and a flip of their own. Going to be able to find it in there. Going to have to force Obscurebreds to keep up the defense. Not going to be able to hold up against the passing plays between Shionzu and Joker. Obscurebreds lets it through. Joker takes a second goal. We're going to 0.5.
When the orbs are up, this offense becomes so suffocating from the side of Showtime, as Kai having that high base speed, the orb dancer giving you a percentage, not just a flat amount of speed, is really letting Shionzu fly around this field and make the most of their offensive capabilities and positioning. But that said, I needs to be a little bit careful. They have to burn the now ulted there and get rewarded with a flip for the extra XP and the healing. But that said, they were on a bit of a lifeline there, but it is Obscurebreds holding down this defense, but they do finally go down, and the power play has started.
Yeah, there's going to not be enough defense falling back there from Obscurebreds. They do end up losing a member, and they do end up losing both barriers now. Again, it's really tough for this Drakkar to defend once both barriers end up falling down. They need Dropletto and I to be able to come back on through and find themselves some counter-aggression. There's going to be a KO off the center there. Really well placed from Obscurebreds to be able to take him down. And now going to be a pass coming on through. Dropletto goes in for the flip. Muncher trying to set up towards the bottom. Shionzu trying to take it away, though. One-on-one for Shionzu. Fall back from I to be able to get into position in time as they pass it back on over. Shionzu still holding on at midfield. Joker sends it back over. Shionzu trying to get it back over into that Rasmus, but interrupted by Dropletto standing in between the two of them. Another lifeline, another heal out of I, but still not going to be enough to take back control over the core. Joker pushing in towards this top corner. Obscurebreds still hanging on to it. Dropletto receiving the clears, preventing Shionzu from keeping this play going, but Joker resets it yet again. Death touch not going to be able to convert into a strike with lashes ready. Flipped, sent down towards the bottom. Muncher able to hold on to it for the time being. Shionzu gets a flip of their own, blocked back away by Obscurebreds, and Dropletto still here to help out. Bozo Bunch, they're hanging on for a long time, but they can't get the clears back into Showtime territory.
It's close, but not over yet. Barcode has a flip available for this defense, but the net is open for the side of the Bozo Bunch. You have to be careful here.
Ooh, flip comes on through. Dropletto goes on a 4x KO streak, able to take Joker off the map, and this might be the moment they were waiting for. Nice flip out of Barcode, clears things back out. Path splitter still not able to clear a path in towards the goal, and Joker's back in respawn, and nothing's changed since you left, buddy. Still going right back to business as usual, trying to take it right past Muncher in one of the longest points we've seen all day, easily the longest. Shionzu keeps up the aggression, still can't get it past Obscurebreds. Dropletto clears it out yet again. Joker's still resetting. Shionzu passes through. Obscurebreds holds it and keeps sending it back on over. Somebody's going to have to change up some tactics because we're going nowhere.
The defense on both sides has been immaculate, but the opportunity is there. Obscurebreds just can't catch it with the lock and load. So it's going to be a point for Joker and a tied up set count at 1-1. Shionzu, with an insane performance on that last round, is going to be rewarded, and rewarded they are heavily with the second orb awakening available to them, and they pick it up expeditiously.
Heartbreaker, Dendar, as they do manage to get it through. We are tied up at 1-1, and Showtime keeping things close in this game number 1. Bulk Up going to end up coming on through for the Asher there, trying to get a little bit of additional power, trying to get a little bit of additional KO potential. And that specialized training just going to keep those ensnare drums being oh so impactful.
Absolutely. Some good survivability picked up as well. Dropletto getting a little bit of extra stagger to help keep the Prize Fighter stacks and the Orb Dancer stacks alive. That said, this Black Hole does a lot of damage even through that, so you've got to be careful if you're Dropletto. You've got to keep these stacks up to keep the tempo up for your team. That said, Joker needs to get some orb stacks of their own as they are stuck at 1 right now. We'll have to see if they can change that to 5 to really get the full value, or whether Shionzu is just going to make full use of them and just run circles around this field as they have been the last set. But Joker's looking a little low here. This could turn into a power play even with the net open.
Yeah, he's really starting to get chunked out. That Molten Bolt still working its way on through his health bar, getting him into that staggered state and risking that he gets finally KO'd. There's going to be Muncher forced into the elusive and using the flip just to try to stay alive. Will manage to survive off the back of it, but that is going to be a crucial cooldown down, and Shionzu able to finish off the job with the Giga Blast over on the other side. Dropletto just trying to buy time here, dribbling it off the bottom. Joker going to try to take it in back towards Obscure Breads, who does manage to clear it out once again. These kind of positions, again, really hard for Obscure Breads to hold on to, but a beautiful clear finds its way back over towards the barriers. Now has open goals for both teams. Flip available for Dropletto. They just got to get it into his hands. Dashes back away, comes in for the flip, sends it right through the elusive, and a point to Bozo Bunch.
A point and a flip stolen away. That is a huge offensive pickup for the side of the Bozo Bunch. Barcode not having that flip available. They've been holding onto it for so long, waiting for just the prime time to use it, and there it just gets snatched away from them, just as that barrier does. But Dropletto, not a ton of energy to defend themselves. Could be the prime time to get the pressure onto them. But with Obscure Breads moving so quickly, it's hard to find an opportunity, even with these Giga Blasts hitting their mark.
Absolutely here. There is going to be Dropletto dribbling it off the bottom. Barcode falling back on the defense. Going to try to set up for Shionzu and Joker to take it. One barrier already down. Back into the hands of Dropletto, dribbling it off the bottom, sends through the Path Splitter, buying a little bit of space. Elusive out of Barcode to be able to keep up the defense, but it will end up coming on through anyway. Flip out of Muncher, not going to be able to be converted into a strike as Joker actually manages to time it right and steal it back away. Now falling back to try to defend this remaining barrier. Can the Bozo Bunch continue to hold on? They cannot. It will fall on down. The goal is going to be opened up. Flip out of Shionzu, and a great follow-up pendulum swing from Joker will take it 1-1.
These pendulum swings have been excellent all game long, both offensively, trying to get these goals, get these locks, get these kills. Joker always in the perfect spot, knows the range excellently. But that said, the defense on both sides has been immaculate, but this is a scary situation. Joker has the flip, but gives only one barrier there. They were in the prime opportunity to take 2, but 1 is all they were rewarded with. But a kill, potentially their newfound reward. But Joker looking like this life insurance that they have on the recovery drone, maybe taken swiftly as that Black Hole sets them to staggered.
Yeah, but Joker's still hanging strong here, does not end up going down. They will find a nice bounce shot on towards a barrier there, but Joker's still hanging tough. They do manage to get the respawn back on through, so continuing to go on as this point fights on. There's going to be another KO coming on through here for Showtime. They got themselves the reset. They got themselves a chance here to be able to take this second barrier and try to get themselves another point. There's going to be Dropletto still clearing things out. Muncher able to respawn and come back over here in time. Will clear things back over to the right side of the map. Dropletto trying to guide it on over there. Joker still just standing strong, confident that he cannot be KO'd and refuses to let anything drop. They will be able to open on up the goal. Now look to convert for the point. Barcode lands a nice perfect pitch to stun back Dropletto and get a opportunity here to push for more. Nice block from Shionzu, nice KO from Joker, and Showtime coming up with a second one.
I mean, we mentioned these pendulum swings, and they are just being ripped left and right there. Huge collapse there by the side of Showtime. Excellent performance by them, but that said, Barcode has his flip available, but almost loses both barriers. A little bit of a scary situation, but they do manage to recover. But that said, Joker, recovering some energy of their own, has a flip available, potentially tried to make up for the double barrier attempt to last round, but fails to do so there. But that's it. Oh, the pendulum swing finally actually making a bit of a missed mark there as the flip looked like it was going to take a barrier, but then for once the pendulum swing sent it just straight forward. The net was not quite open yet, but the idea was good to get this help on the offense. But that said, one barrier is available for both sides, and Muncher has a flip here looking to potentially move up with it.
Yeah, really trying to send through these drones. Does come out with the flip. Gets it. Nice angle there off the bottom. Will be able to bounce up and take that barrier, but a barrier found in turn for Showtime. Open goals on both sides. Joker taking low on Stagger. Going to have that revive blown. Was 3 points in, though. Certainly got plenty of value out of that one already. And Shionzu looking for a bit of a breakaway. Will get fended back off. Muncher and Dropletto able to clear things back out. Comes back up. Dropletto with a shooting opportunity. Takes it on through. Shionzu blocks it back away. Obscure Bread still holding back on the defense. And Muncher going to be able to join him using that lifeline. Dropletto throws down the path splitter, trying to split some paths for himself. And what a bounce off of Dropletto. Gets it into the goal, and we're going to .5.
Big bounce there to tie things up, but unfortunately, that is going to mean that this next point means a whole lot, because that's going to be a draft that could potentially change the entire tempo of this game, and you don't want to be on the losing side of this. But that said, Barcode and Joker both pretty high on energy drop. Leto and I working on their own. That said, we'll just have to see what comes out here, but what comes out is 2 barriers taken.
Really great stuff here from Showtime, being able to open on up the map, being able to open up the goal. Cleared back away from Barcode. A real opportunity here to take the set for themselves and make it 2 in a row. Muncher going to try to prevent it. There's going to be a nice KO found. I think that was Dropletto taking it back over from the other side, able to send him off the map and able to create a power play here for Bozo Bunch. Dropletto resetting inside the goal arc. Muncher getting it back in towards his hands. Flip comes out of Barcode, fended back away by Dropletto, still hanging on towards the barrier, but finally Dropletto will be able to navigate it on through. Joker, though, finds the KO, finds the swing, finds the goal, and takes it 3-2. Showtime back up 2-1.
Joker there cracks the whip, and we move on to this next draft, where that's going to be a big kill, as now they are up in sets, and the enemy goalie Obscure Breads is out of stacks. So they will have to rebuild that goalie. It's a little bit easier to rebuild those orb stacks, but that said, it's going to be tough, as now Shionzu has this quick strike available, but Catalyst taken as compensation. The Might of the Colossus going to be a good pickup here, make those pendulum swings just a bit stronger. Team player getting the core down the field, but Rampage, if it was on the forward, might be a little scarier, but on this goalie is just going to be a little bit of extra size to help out here. And then finally, we do have that Reptile Remedy for Dropletto. That's going to be a little bit of stagger scaling. They had a little bit already to keep those stacks up, and now they have even more. But those Prize Fighter stacks are back to 1. We'll have to see if they can get that power back up. But it is the barriers being taken, but 1 for each side.
Absolutely. Barcode actually just got a stack of the Rampage there, so is getting a little bit of value out of it, at least occasionally, but certainly going to be a little tougher than on a forward. Joker resetting for another attempt here, going to be taken low, and wow, already losing the revive. Recovery drone might as well not even be present for this set number 4. We'll see if it ends up making a difference here for the Showtime squad. Joker still willing to reset and get right back into the aggression, trying to brawl up against Obscure Bread's nice death touch, takes him over to the other side of the core and opens up an easy barrier for the Joker. Now resetting to try to take it all the way home for the goal. Dribbling off the bottom, Shionzu taking it in there along with him. Muncher stunned back away by the pendulum swing. Dropletto going to be able to come back and try to receive as he gets cleared back from the other side. Obscure Breads does have access to that flip. Once it ends up back in his face, Shionzu does as well and might end up having to use it here on the defense. Bolton Bolt connects onto Joker. Joker goes elusive just in time to avoid being KO'd by Dropletto. A flip from Dropletto, going to be able to send it back in and take that remaining barrier, and a beautiful dash forward right into the goal. Dropletto takes the first point for the Bozo Bunch.
The Brawler is getting it done here, but that said, I have come to the conclusion that maybe one thing we might have overlooked was the fact that Rampage also counts on assists, and I don't know if that drum and bass is what's going to be giving Barcode these stacks when his team is taking the barriers. That said, we will just have to see if that size keeps stacking up, but right now, the defense is stacking up. 1 flip used, but another available for this offense on Shionzu, and Joker is working on one of their own.
Absolutely here, and Muncher going to be able to fight for it on towards the bottom side. There's going to be another pass on up from Dropletto, and maybe another shot here from Muncher to be able to push on forward. Path splitter comes on through. They're going to be able to find the flip. They're going to be able to send it on through. They are going to be able to open on up the goal. Obscurebreds and a Muncher fighting for it now. Flip comes on out of Joker. They will be able to take the remaining barrier. Dropletto finding another KO, though, keeping that streak alive. And now going to see if they are able to convert it for another point. Joker rolling with him, trying to take the core back over to the other side, buying that additional time for Shionzu to be able to rejoin. Shionzu is here now, but Joker going to be able to pull it back in with the death touch. Goes in for the pendulum swing, trying to take it in on towards the left goal, but Dropletto just KOs him again. Will be another power play for the Bozo Bunch. They take another shot at the goal. Dropletto's here in perfect order. Beautiful path splitter, sends the core up, and will take it 2-0 for the Bozo Bunch.
Keeping the core nice and fast there. They certainly split a path for their team with that goal. The slight redirect off of it sends it just out of the range of Barcode. So great use of that ultimate by Dropletto. That said, Joker looking for a potential cooldown, but the barriers are down so fast.
Dropletto just coming alive here in set number 4, saying, all right, we're taking this the full distance. Both barriers fall in an instant, and now all that's left is the goal. Joker taken to about half. Dropletto trying to take things back up against Shionzu. Will be a nicely placed pendulum swing, but Obscurebred's able to fend it back off, and now a low HP Joker going to have to wait a little bit until they can actually get into the fray of things. They do manage to get an orb to get back up, but not Dropletto yet again. Right in position, right up top. Barcode can't clear it. Dropletto takes the point. 3-0 Bozo Bunch. We're going to set number 5.
A quick evening up there, as now we are in set 5. This is going to be the last draft, and we do see that Monumentalist on the table, and there is a now third pick. But if you're Barcode, it feels bad to take it because it's going to make your ultimate not quite as potent, but it feels like you almost have to, and that they do. So that's going to make the ultimate a little bit more difficult to utilize to the fullest, but it is a necessary pickup against a player like I. That said, more stagger being picked up by Dropletto. I like that choice. The heavy impact is going to be some cooldowns. Explosive entrance is going to be a lot of speed for Joker, who's already running circles around this defense at times. That's going to be a huge boon for them. And then finally, Prime Time going to Kai, kind of late in the draft, but a great pickup for them regardless. As Missile Propulsion goes on to Obscurebreds, it's going to help out on the defense, and also from these midfield plays on the offense, helping their team, acting as a second midfielder, almost like having a strike shot. Ooh. But Joker continues to find kills with this pendulum swing.
Really good stuff there from Joker, able to create the power play. Ooh, Dropletto fends off another shot in towards the barrier and will be able to hang on to it until I respawns. Flip comes through from Shionzu. They will be able to get it on towards that barrier. They will be able to open up the goal, and it's a real advantage state for Showtime now. Joker gets the breakaway. Joker just takes it home with that extra mobility you were talking about, and it will be the first point of the final set here to Showtime.
This offense is certainly mobilizing here, and they've got a lot of Orb Ponderer stacks still on them, but Muncher is just not able to get up with those Orb stacks. They are currently at 0. They will have to find an opportunity. But when the offense is so potent between Shionzu and Joker, it feels like you never have time to really escape from the scene and go pick up those orbs, and by the time you finally do, Shionzu is just somehow faster than you even with it. So it's just so difficult to find these opportunities. But that said, the flip has to come out from a missed strike, but no boys angle this time. We do finally get the barrier, but it's 1-1 each side, and Muncher has this flip available to help Dropletto. Can they get in there, or will Shionzu use their own?
That's the question. Flip comes across from I, will defend it away, and they hang on towards the barrier. Shionzu takes them off the bottom using that barrage, and will be able to find the KO that they were looking for. A nice setup, flip into pendulum swing from Joker. Will get the hit stun and the push all in one to be able to take that second barrier as they look to try to close out the game. It's been close the whole way through, but Showtime looking advantaged here. They take it towards the bottom. Shionzu's waiting for it, and Joker will be able to send it in off the rebound. 2-0, 1 point to go for a Showtime win in game number 1.
Potentially the last point here. These collapses by Showtime have been immaculate. It feels like they're always both working hand in hand together. It feels like there's no hero plays, only consistent value, and that they are finding. But Shionzu, helping on this defense, is able to do just so. But Joker looks like they could be on the chopping block here with a lot of HP taken away.
Absolutely. Really, really low. Does still have the recovery drone. Second barrier found off the ricochet on the top side. Muncher sent back away by the explosion in the center. Joker going to be able to take one barrier. Great defense from Barcode as they send it right back in towards the left side off the perfect pitch. But now a great setup here coming on through for the Bozo Bunch. They want to be able to push on forward. They want to be able to take this point. Nice block from Barcode. Dropletto taking up towards the top. Nearly KO'd by Shionzu, who does still have access towards that flip. Snuck on past. Dropletto sends it down. Muncher waiting waiting to receive. Gigablast gonna disrupt, still keeping it forward. Path Splitter pushes it through, splits the path, and despite flips from both Barcode and Shionzu, it will be a score for the Bozo Bunch.
A score for the Bozo Bunch, but the energy is high on the side of Showtime, and they only need 1 point, and they have just about 3 flips available. It's going to be tough for the defense here, but we've seen Obscure Breads do it before. Both 2 barriers gone, and the point taken. It is going to be Showtime with a pendulum swing from the Joker, taking this game.
Absolutely here. There's going to be another point and the game for the side of Showtime. Congratulations to them here on their first win of the weekend. Now, will they be able to take it for a full series? We will have to see here. Bozo Bunch keeping things very close the whole way through. And Showtime now with their shot here to be able to get themselves a little higher up in the standings. Like we said earlier, it's getting to be that time of the season where you start to really think about where you are in the playoffs race, and this is definitely going to be a place where you want to make sure it works out.
Working out indeed. The teams here, I mean, just look at these redirects. We've got 350 on Shionzu, 300 on both Obscure Breads and Dropletto with 250, 260, 235 on Barcode and Joker respectively. These players were hitting the core. I mean, we had that one round that went just so long for both sides, just played excellently. But at the end of the day, the game does have to end. Joker with 9 goals for their team, contested by Dropletto with 8 of their own. Both of these forwards were getting it done on the brawler roll. But that said, I do think that Shionzu was just running so fast in these games between the Orb Dancer, the secondary from Kai, really just making sure that everywhere they needed to be, they got to. And I think that is a big deal for this team. But that said, we will be potentially going to our next match here fairly soon. It's going to be on Gates of Obscura, a bit of a different map. Atlas Lab, one that a player like Barcode is a bit more familiar with, having been an older player. But that said, Gates with a lot of updates. I don't know when the last time Barcode was in a series that had this map with the changes, so I'm sure you can enlighten us, Gordo, here as we get ready for this next game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. I haven't gotten to see very much of Gates of Obscura as of late. It feels like relatively few teams have really been taking it. I think I got 1 game of it last week, if I'm not mistaken, Dendar. But going to be an interesting one here, especially as a choice for the Bozo Bunch, as they look to try to fight their way back in. It was a very close game, number 1, like we've been saying. So maybe that map pick going to end up being the extra difference maker here. Does look like the Awakenings are going to be a Monumentalist in that 1-2 punch. So could be a couple of different directions to take this in. I wonder if we get the now ban.
Could be, but we just have to wait and see what the opportunities are as we potentially get into this next draft. Yeah, with that Monumentalist, it maybe has to be the now ban. You can't really let either side have that. But is it Showtime who's going to toss it away? But with their first pick, I don't think they'll ban that out. As with Showtime, I mean, you have Shionzu. That's a player who can pilot this now character about as well as anybody ever could. So I don't think you're going to be banning that away. You're going to force the enemy team to take it from you. But with the 1-2 punch available, that's going to be making it a little bit easier to clear out, as the goalie is going to give you that extra core speed as you go through these interactions, especially since a lot of things happen in the corner. It is going to be the Mako ban, and then now we do see taken out, like you mentioned. But it's X going to be the first pickup here, going to be making really good use of that 1-2 punch. All
right, so Showtime X, as they try to see if they're going to be able to take this one home. Now an opportunity for the Bozo Bunch to take a pair of their choice. We did call it that now ban. I like the choice to ban the Mako, by the way, out of Showtime. It was very tough for the Bozo Bunch to break through the Mako last time around, so if you don't want it, then might as well take it off the board. Here's that Era being hovered to deny the Era Axe, and wonder what the brawler they're going to try to pair that one with.
Yeah, that Era pickup is smart. We see it time and time again where the X gets picked up and you feel like you have to take the Era. Otherwise, you just get put in such a perilous situation, especially with Monumentalist on the table there to really lock down these corners with the Magical Maelstrom. But until we see what that last pick is, it's going to be a little bit up in the air. It's going to be the Asher, but this could be goalie or forward. So that does leave a bit of a flex pick here for the pick 6, but pick 4 and 5 available. It's going to be Showtime finding both their midfield and their goalie picks here. But until then, we'll have to see what they come up with. But it's going to be the Rune pickup here. Now, that's an interesting one, and one that I am a huge fan of. Big
Flavorful.
thumbs up there. And then the Atlas pickup here. This is going to be a lot of creations and a lot of ways to contest the Monumentalist getting its full value. Shionzu Rune potentially could be big here, but that character is not the strongest, but in the hands of a player like Shionzu, we'll get to see the full value come into play. But that said, this pick 6 is going to have to be something that can potentially help deal with all of these creations, and it's going to be the Rasmus. I like this pick. It's going to be a way to get around them when they need to, and provide mix-up opportunity on these goals so that even if they can't hard brute force it through something like a brick wall of the Rune Pillar, it gives them time and time again options to find opportunities to then get around it and get the points for themselves. So I like these picks here from both teams. I do believe this is going to be... Actually, it's tough to say if this is going to be the Asher goalie or the Rune goalie, or the Rasmus goalie, as both could fulfill the role here well. But I think with that Monumentalist, it might be the Asher forward to really just suffocate these pockets.
I could definitely see that one coming on through. We won't know for sure until we are on to the field, but definitely could be taken into either position. I think it's almost certainly going to be the Atlas in the goal for Showtime, but I'm excited to see this Rune. Flavorful selection with the Gates of Obscura map, and we'll see if all that shifting around is going to be enough to give Showtime the 2-0 here, as they're definitely looking to get themselves into a better standing in the league, and taking down the Bozo Bunch here in week number 5 would certainly be great for them to be able to move on up here. Who's the team that they've beaten so far? I'm looking to try to find it. They took down Eris Kitten Club in week number 1. So definitely need to start coming up with a few more of those if they do want to make their way into that playoffs. They definitely had a tough schedule so far. They lost up against Bang Bang, and they lost up against Bun Bun. They definitely... What else did they lose to? They took... last week's matchup was Cosmic Calamities. So win over Bozo Bunch. Pretty important for their standings now.
So I'm going to yap about Rune for a second here. There's two major things that I'm really concerned about with this pick. Not saying that it is a bad pick, just things to be watching out for here. Number one, Era is going to be giving that team a lot of speed. And Rune, while he can port back to the defense, that portal's not always in the perfect spot to help out. So unless you have really good control with those primaries to keep the core out of the places you can't control it, it's going to be really tough to keep up with this midfield, having all of that extra speed to just run circles around you. But the other things with this Monumentalist pickup, it is typically a pretty good pick here, but if with the extra size on those pillars, it's going to make popping them before they can fully form a lot easier. And when there's so much chaos in these pockets, it feels like that can happen more often than you think. So they're going to have to be placed very well. But it is Shionzu we were talking about. I'm sure they've thought of all of these things so far. And one last thing to note is that there's potentially a lot of damage coming out with that 1-2 punch. So you've really got to have tight positioning and make sure that you make the most of where you are standing. But we get a little bit of a loading bug here, as the Awakenings were still set to Orb Dancer and Might of the Colossus. We will get that fixed very soon.
Yeah, well, we'll be able to get back on in, so no worries, no worries. Got to reset those starting Awakenings, and then we'll be able to get right back in queue, and we'll be able to get back into game number 2. Where we may... It's feeling like there's a good chance that we get a game number 3 here, I do want to say, because Bozo Bunch kept game number 1 so close for so long. Now we're going over towards their map selection. We'll see if... Showtime's gone for the Rune. There's a reason very few folks are willing to pick Rune these days. See if Shionzu can shut me up.
You break my heart by speaking the truth, but Rune is in a bit of a perilous spot. But most recently, they did give Rune a little bit of extra base movement speed. So perhaps that will be a little bit of a band-aid on the otherwise tough situation that they would find themselves in. But that said, we are getting into this game. Let's look at the Awakenings. It should be pretty straightforward, I feel, as the Monumentalist pickup from Rune and Barcode, Shionzu getting that Monumentalist, and Joker going 1-2 punch. Oh, this pillar is huge on the offense here, but not quite enough. We see Monumentalist on I. When they start getting those tornadoes rolling, that's going to be quite scary. Obscure Breads has gone for the 1-2 punch, but here on the defense, we have to be careful.
Yeah, great start here from Shionzu and Joker, able to combine together and be able to find those barriers quick and easy. Banish comes on through, connects on both the core and on towards Dropletto, and I love this combo already. The Banish with Joker just getting into position to start throwing through these X combos. Nice clean point out of Showtime, already showing some of what they've cooked up with this composition.
Well, there it actually looked like Obscure Bread struck towards their own net. Maybe that was a visual bug, but I'm not sure what that was about. That looked like it was potential clear out, but regardless, the point goes over to the blue side here. As one thing I'm already noticing is on those banished plays, it seemed like Shionzu wasn't sure if they wanted to go for the kill or go for the core, and they weren't able to fully form the pillar, so they'll have to be careful and be a bit more decisive when those plays come up, as they can be a bit chaotic. But a quick barrier is taken here, but the net's open on the other side.
Yeah, they were able to put together a nice offense there for the Bozo Bunch. Now it's up to Shionzu and Joker to try to reclaim the same with their turn. The flip comes on through. They do send it through the portal. Now going to be another flip there out of I. Be able to keep up the defense for a little bit longer. Shionzu coming in on the bottom, going to have access to the flip here soon. Does create the portal, does manage to pick on up that second barrier, now looking to close things out for full. They're going to be able to pass it back and forth to themselves using those pillars back through the portal. Sent back on up, there's going to be that astral projection out of Barcode, just trying to keep things more towards the center of the field, and they've got those huge creations to help out on the defense. It's definitely making it very tough to break through for now. Flipped on through, blocked by Dropletto, into the shot, the bottom corner. Dropletto coming back in, picking up where they left off.
And there we see that pillar size we mentioned earlier with the Monumentalist. The pillar ideal was good to give Barcode a bit of a wall there, but because it was so large, it actually blocked the clear attempt and gave Dropletto another chance. But that said, here we see these Magical Maelstrom finally come out that we were mentioning earlier, and two barriers are taken from it. Great offense by the Bozo Bunch.
Yeah, the giant Maelstrom up towards the top corner has been a bit of kryptonite for Showtime, at least through these first couple of points. It's been so tough for them to actually keep up the defense, even with Astral going for the Cosmic Expanse. It's just not enough. And now another one coming in through for another push. They're going to be able to use the Rune Pillar to help fend it off this time. Nice pendulum swing through the portal. Sets up for I and Dropletto to take it through for a second point.
The offensive duo strikes once more. They do it time and time again. Excellent team play there between Muncher and Dropletto. But we're starting to see some adjustments come out, and we'll have to see if they're enough. But Joker on this X, just getting shrunk, not quite able to get into where they need to, but they find the kill. That is exactly what they need in this situation. 2v3 power play, and with Barcode patrolling that portal, it gives Shionzu time to set things up. But the power play is not amounting to much other than this first barrier, but with a second attempt coming, there it is, the second is taken.
Yeah, really nice stuff there. Shionzu gets the banish, but it gets onto the core as well. Very close to Joker being in a perfect position there. Won't quite end up coming through, but they're not done yet. Path splitter out of Dropletto, going to try to clear things out for a little bit longer. Shionzu with the pass back to himself, using that warp, and back into Joker's hands. Can't quite push it through. Didn't have the Maximus. If they were in that form, maybe would have been able to take it. Magical Maelstrom coming on through once again. There's going to be that pillar to try to defend. There's going to be another shot on through, but Barcode can't hold on. Will finally make its way on across. Another pillar out of Shionzu. Another flip out of Obscure Breads. Clears it on through. Back through the portal. Back onto the other side. Barcode right through the center. In towards Joker. Bouncing back and forth, but not in the direction that they need it on the side of Showtime. And Barcode going to lose another barrier of another shot through the portal.
Oh, big opportunity strikes here as the passes are coming to life, but the defense is holding on both sides. The portals are being used excellently, but Obscure Bread's just out of range, not able to contest that strike. The 1-2 punch making the core go a little bit faster than perhaps they were anticipating, and it leads to the point for the side of Showtime, evening things up here. But I think these pillars may be leading to a bit of catastrophe here, as there have been a couple attempts of the defense that Barcode just hasn't had the space they need, and I love this adjustment, putting the pillar on the lock instead of just above it. That is huge foresight by Shionzu to make the adjustment they need to, and I think that could lead to potentially a huge change in how this game plays out.
Beautiful banish on a Dropletto there, going to get them into a stagger. There's going to be the charge forward on the Bull Rush, and they're just keeping that one going. Elusive comes out of Barcode there, able to get Dropletto onto the wrong side, not able to quite take him out. Shionzu finally finishes the job, but it's after both barriers have fallen. It's up to Showtime to try to make sure that this play is worth it. They do get the second barrier. Can they convert it all the way to a point? 3 more seconds to go until that Asher is back in their face, and Dropletto is here. The point still going on. Back through the portal. Rune waiting on the other side. Shionzu going to get into Joker's hands. He's in the Maximus. He's trying to hit stun Obscure Breads. He just can't stop him. Flip out of Obscure Breads, going to be able to clear things back out towards the other side. It comes back through the portal, and it's Muncher on the aggression. Banished back away by Shionzu. Joker trying another shot. Still can't find it. Shionzu slowed down, shrunk up by the Bewitching Beam as Muncher looks for a breakaway, but Joker waiting at midfield gets it down, but Dropletto is there to be able to defend. Barcode can't astrally project in time. It's 3-2. Bozo Bunch take it.
Close set, but adjustments are being made, and I can see it happening in real time. So while that set might have been close, the next one might not be so close as we get into this draft here with Obscure Breads having the first pick, both goalies getting the first opportunities, followed by the midfields and then the forwards. A bit of symmetry within this draft. I like seeing that, but the hot shot pickup here is going to help with these clear-outs. The stack's going to give Barcode that little extra speed there. They just weren't in range to catch the core. Now they finally will be able to. Chrono Boost is a big pickup here, and among Titans to contest that speed, you have to pick something to contest the speed of this era now with the Chrono Boost. Rampage is going to make this player Dropletto massive, but the specialized training, Joker has already found a couple dash punch kills. This could be another opportunity for them to find more and find them more easily, and perhaps as well, in those overtime situations, get quick goals that maybe they weren't expecting. But this Magical Maelstrom is farming a lot of energy for Muncher in these situations, but with one lock taken, we'll have to see how the defense adjusts once Muncher potentially goes down, as their stagger is quite low.
Absolutely, they do manage to get themselves their first barrier. Joker trying to reset for a second. Does have that empowered special now, a little bit of extra brawling power once push does come to shove, and that is where they've been struggling to get these points on through. There's going to be more blinks back and forth here from Shionzu. He is so quick now with that extra speed given, and did give a little bit of extra size over towards Joker and Barcode. That'll be plenty appreciated. Nice score there. Comes on through. Well set up by Joker. They're able to push it through.
Big banish there to deny the flip opportunity on the defense. Dropletto had fallen back to help should they be needed, but they were excommunicated from the game there as that banish does take them out. But that said, this portal looking like the place you want to clear, but that Magical Maelstrom is being there to catch them so that they can't make the most of it. So that is good awareness by Eye. But that said, they're flying through the portals just to stay alive against this X-Maximus, but Joker has a lot of energy coming up here. This could be a flip contested by Obscure Breads' own. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, really good stuff there. Dribbling it on towards the bottom, able to find themselves both barriers in no time at all, and Joker sends it right back up. It's 2-0 in set number 2 for Showtime.
2-0. The curtain rises as they are trying to get this set into their own hands, but that said, if they could even this up, that would definitely be a big opportunity for that scaling that X sometimes needs. We attempt to see a push combo come out from the side of Shionzu, but unfortunately the teammate does block the second pillar, preventing that kill. But good awareness on Shionzu to try to go for that attempt, and even better awareness to defend their teammates. But that said, they're making good use of these portals, passing to both themselves and the Joker. This offense is looking good. They're just one step away from getting into this next draft with them in the lead.
Absolutely. Shionzu pushing in midfield, and there's going to be another astral projection coming out of Dropletto. Joker sends it on over, and there's going to be Shionzu dueling with it back and forth.
Oh no!
All right, another KO comes on through. Bozo Bunch able to take out the Rune, giving themselves a huge shot here. 5 seconds to go, passing back and forth between Dropletto and Muncher. Great setup. Dropletto pushes in. Dropletto gets both barriers before Shionzu can respawn, and Dropletto takes it all the way for the point. Bozo Bunch get a mile off an inch.
Dropletto is finding these perfect angles past the astral projections. They just aren't able to catch the core. Dropletto having excellent usage of these corners of the goal. Just got to keep that up, and they are keeping themselves in the lead here. But that said, they still have to get 2 more points, whereas Showtime only has to get 1 to get led into this draft. We'll just have to see how it goes. But that said, Dropletto looks like they're making their move.
Really good stuff here from Dropletto, just taking it right back in the same way they did last round, and looking for a full score yet again. Passed on through, Muncher in position, Dropletto pushing forward, can't quite find it on towards the goal, and it will be sent back over. Shionzu setting up the pillars now to cover all of the angles, and they will be able to take Dropletto off the map, back through the portal. Good job to fend away from the Bewitching Beam. Shionzu looking to take it back forward and move on towards that barrier. It's going to be Muncher down, channeling that magical Maelstrom, won't be able to find its way out of the core, won't be able to find its way on towards the strikers. Dropletto is back and available though, coming alive. The era is down. They've managed to find that KO, and they find the goal. Showtime. Tie it up at 1 set apiece.
Huge banish by Shionzu there to take out the goalie. Even with that CC reduction that you get in the goal box, it was not enough to allow Obscure Breads to have a contesting strike there. But that said, they will be rewarded as now X getting first pick in this draft. We see quick strikes available, but giving up on Catalyst is a little scary when you're fighting in these pockets, and it's going to be going to the side of the Bozo Bunch onto Muncher. That's a scary person to give Catalyst to.
Definitely is, and now going to be that heavy impact here coming on through for Shionzu, so still looking for kind of potential KO combos they could find there and trying to utilize these pillars for as much value as they possibly can. Gonna have to kind of use the pillars as a substitute for themselves with how tiny they have ended up off these drafts, and gonna be really tough to actually make those strikes work. Both pillars come on across it. A KO is actually found under Dropletto at the end of the day. Nice pendulum swing from Obscure Breads. Actually manages to clear the core out from what looked like a doom situation, and somehow no barriers have gone down. They're able to save the time and buy it for Dropletto to be able to come back.
The heavy impact, one thing to note here is that it's going to give some core speed for this offense there. It manages to find a barrier with it. So that could be a big pickup here for the offense, but the barriers are down. It seems like we may be correct on that.
Joker coming on forward, has those quick strikes for some of the mix-ups up against Obscure Breads. Nice banish on towards Muncher, gives all the space in the world, and Joker able to turn that one into KO. Big punch off the top. Power play yet again for Showtime as they look to close out the point. He needs the pass from Shionzu. Doesn't go through the portal this time. Joker going to be able to pass it up, goes in for the flip, gets stuffed back away as Dropletto is back and available yet again. Magical Maelstrom coming on through, just going to bounce it back and forth with Shionzu's pillar. Shionzu about to have the flip available, but they need to touch something. They do manage to get the core. They have the flip now. Goes back through the portal. Barcode going to send it straight. Wants to get it into Joker's hands through the portal. Obscure Bread's going to be able to defend. Joker falling back. Shionzu gets the flip, goes for the banish, and sends the strike through. Beautiful by Shionzu.
The shadow shot strikes, and there the core even gets caught by the banish, but it does not stop the scoring attempt there. That said, Obscure Breads wanted to hold on to that flip, and punished they were. Big play by Shionzu there to get that goal. But that said, the goalie is down, and Shionzu is helping to defend, but the barriers are gone.
Yeah, Shionzu got his work cut out for him here. The flip comes through. Obscure Breads up to Muncher, into an easy goal. Bozo Bunch tie things up in set 3.
Big tie up there. Dropletto has this flip available to help, but the rest of the team does not have much energy. So we're going to have to see if they get punished for that. There we see the bell ringer come out, dealing a little bit of damage, but Muncher not looking too offended by that. They're looking a bit healthy here. The Magical Maelstrom helping to contest this defensive pillar. But that said, the Rune banish is out. But with that little bit extra core speed, perhaps they are getting a bit more barrier opportunities, where between the Monumentalist and the heavy impact, now it's really hard to defend once it starts bouncing around. Rune thriving in the chaos here, as Joker has this flip available, and Shionzu is there to back them up.
Really good stuff here. Ooh, push on towards the bottom, and they are going to be able to find that KO with the Magical Maelstrom. We'll give a power play over towards the Bozo Bunch, and they're doing a great job of being able to find themselves an angle in towards this set. Shionzu taking it back away, though, gets the banish on towards the core and on towards Obscure Breads, and that will give enough time for Joker to be able to get into position. Nearly taking Dropletto off towards the bottom, now going in for the barrier instead. They will be able to open up the goal. Shionzu falling back towards midfield. Barcode has the flip available, doesn't need to use it, though. Shionzu back in position, off the shadow swap, back into the goal. It's 2-1 for Showtime.
Gotta pay attention to those. It's not like a Vice secondary where you see it and you know it's a set amount of time you have to avoid that spot. You have to be aware of that the entire time. And with that deep blue kind of blending in with the goalie arc sometimes, it can be a little difficult to keep track of it. And Shionzu makes the most of that, getting a quick goal for themselves. That said, the energy is high here. Orbs taken as well as a barrier, but 2 barriers gone. The flip available for the defense has to get out.
Joker just emerges from that portal like he's Thanos in the movie. He just takes both barriers, knocks everybody else aside, and there is no chance at them being able to stop anything. There's going to be Shionzu, another one, banishes him away, right through him with the strike, and that's a set win. Well deserved for Showtime and Shionzu.
That's such a difficult situation because even if you evade, you lose your flip. You're stuck in the evade animation, and Shionzu can just send it to the bottom side of the net. It just feels like there's no way to survive in that situation, creating a great checkmate for their team and winning this draft. The primetime pick up here, that's one of Rune's top 3 awakenings. So now when you have the little bit of minus core speed that it is going to give you, it is going to give minus 1% to the core speed. I don't think that's going to be enough to stop these plays that are already happening. The Twin Drive pickup here going to be a bit more speed. Perhaps that's going to allow them to fight around everything that is happening and get into positions. Only some stagger picked up here. The stagger is good for Obscure Breads as they already have some scaling, as well as Dropletto having some scaling of their own. But that said, with Joker getting this adrenaline rush, they're still finding the kills. It's going to be scary to stay alive, especially if they're getting those cooldown reductions so consistently.
Absolutely here. There's that Flutterfly boosting up everybody on the side of the Bozo Bunch, and they come back with a vengeance. It's looking like they're going to be able to close this out. Dropletto doesn't quite get the barrier beam through, but still firing on across. Joker able to get an early KO yet again. But back through the portal goes the core, and they will be able to buy some time for the respawn. Can they even get barriers? First one falls to Joker. Second one falls to Joker. Respawn is here, but it might be too late. The pillar was in position, but it wasn't enough to be able to take it all the way through. Dropletto dribbling it off the top, looking for a little play for themselves, but they do have the help out of those rune pillars to keep up the defense. Shionzu gets it back to himself, trying to get it over to Joker. Dropletto now in a bit of a breakaway. Banished away, though, and will not be able to get back into position. They're still going for this, though. They've got the path splitter and the KOs. Do not matter. Dropletto takes it for the score.
Big gold there, big energy available, and these rounds have been a bit back and forth, but now it looks like it's going back into the hands of the Bozo Bunch here, as it took some quick barriers and got themselves a goal. But that said, there's still a lot of opportunity and a lot of time left, and even if they win this, there's still that 5th round that they have to contest for, so they've got their work cut out for them. But they're getting these barriers consistently, making great use of the portals here, getting locked down by the Rune Pillar, not allowing a direct angle, but Obscure Breads managing to help the defense all the same, but almost a kill for that Adrenaline Rush, and it is big kill here.
Wow, but the flip melee range here for Muncher, they are able to fend it back away, and they do still have that timer where Dropletto's not here, but the defense of Obscure Breads has been good. Whiplashes it back on through. Pillar not going to be able to keep up the aggression, and Dropletto is back yet again. It's a power play for Showtime where they aren't able to actually get anything out of it. And now sending it back on through. They did get a little bit of a break in the action, but that's the most that they can find. And Dropletto already ready to get started again. Joker finds another KO, just beaten on Obscure Breads now on the other side. Shionzu keeps sending it through the portal. Flip out of Obscure Breads over to Barcode. Shionzu gonna grab it. Dropletto manages to find the counter KO, taking out X, and now going to have an opportunity to score here for the Bozo Bunch and potentially force a set number 5. Obscure Breads helping on out, and Barcode can't get his hands on it. It's 2-0 to the Bozo Bunch.
Oh, that's so difficult. You have the core coming at you at Mach 9. You have that flip available, but just in that moment, they just weren't able to strike the core. So that's going to be a point for the Bozo Bunch and a bit of a turnabout here. But that said, it feels like in these chaotic situations that Rune is creating, on the offense they're doing well, but on the defense, it seems like there's a bit of panic here. They need to lock it in and make sure that they recognize the situations they are in to make the most of what they have available. But at the moment, this Magical Maelstrom is out and does not find anything, so that's going to be one more offensive tool down, but with both barriers down, this is a tough situation.
Nice play there by Joker, going to be able to find the second barrier. Shionzu been all over the map on this point and looking to be able to set up for another. Has the flip available, will expend it, takes it forward, not able to push it for the goal. Pass on down from Barcode. Joker going to have their flip available here soon as well. They pop the Maximus, are going to just start hitting Obscure Breads, at least to generate that energy. Not going to be able to accomplish much else, though. We need to wait for Shionzu or Barcode to be able to clear it back over to them. The flip out of Barcode sends it over. Joker going to be in position, doesn't snag it with the flip, and that's a bunch of resources expended by Showtime to not accomplish too much on the other side.
A huge defense and a lot of damage coming out. They got to be careful here as the hook is available for the defense. The pillar beating it out, but sending it out. We'll have to see if they can keep up this offense with the portals available.
A really long point here and a big climb back necessary from Showtime if they want to close out the game on this set. Looking more and more likely like we're going to get the full 5 sets here for game number 2, but Joker thinking otherwise, found the KO, able to take it into the goal, and trying to get the reverse sweep in the set here for Showtime.
A great straight shot into that bottom side And if they keep that up, like you said, we will maybe not see this round 5, but at the moment, it's looking like we might see this last draft come into play as one barrier goes down for the side of Bozo Bunch, and they are on this offense. The Banish, not able to cook up much, just stalls a little bit and makes a flip come out here from Dropletto on the offense, but Joker takes the offensive, gets a kill. The Adrenaline Rush is out, but a great clear by Obscure Breads keeps things alive.
And again, Obscure Breads has done such a good job of neutralizing these power plays. They keep finding the KOs. Joker's able to take Dropletto off the map, and it does not matter. Not a single barrier will fall. Nothing will be accomplished off of it. They're going to be able to reset for a little bit of an offensive push here, but it's back in that 3-on-3 territory. Healing coming on across. Joker has access to the flip. Joker somehow finding it, bouncing back and forth, flipping the core, buying time, but not able to take the shot. It goes back through the barrier, back through the portal. Will be able to find the KO on towards Joker. Second barrier falls on down. Dropletto with an opportunity here to close out the set and take us to set number 5. Shionzu trying to buy time. 1 second left on Joker. Joker's here. Dropletto going for the shot. Muncher taking it up to the top. Dueling back and forth with Joker. The quick strike's going to be able to keep it going. Shionzu fends it back away. Joker sends it across. And it will be a defense from Muncher yet again. Muncher going to be able to push on forward, trying to get it past onto Barcode. Flip from Dropletto, covered by the Cosmic Expanse. Pillar going to send it back up towards Obscure Breads. Shionzu trying to put it back into Joker's hands, but Dropletto dueling with him, keeping him hit stunned. Muncher sends it down, and we're going to set number 5.
Huge offense by Muncher there, keeping it even in the face of that 1v1. They made sure not to overcommit to anything. They just kept possession, giving Dropletto time to make the actions that they need, and they are rewarded as we go into set 5 here in this draft. We're going to have Obscure Breads rewarded for their defense. Like you mentioned, they have just time and time again sit in the face of these power plays, just neutralize them excellently, and they're rewarded with the Orb Dancer, going to give them the extra speed they need to get around and force up these offensive plays. The extra special going to be a lot of Maelstroms coming out, but the Rapid Fire is going to be primaries for this defense, and Recovery Drone is going to be a lot of size. The Unstoppable comes out to help keep themselves alive, with Dropletto now having Rampage, Bulk Up, another Stagger Awakening, and Might of the Colossus. That's going to be a lot of power, a lot of size, and a lot of staying alive. So if Dropletto can keep up the pressure, that's going to be huge for their team, but the barriers are down.
Oh, there's the flip out of Joker, nearly taking it all the way home. Gets the bell ringer onto all 3, but it's not enough to convert into the point. They're going to be able to take down Dropletto. Another power play here. Beautiful bull rush. Shionzu and Joker combine for the first point of set number 5.
All that stagger doesn't save you if you stand near the ledge, much like versus a dash punch. We got to be careful about that, but this one's on a 35-second timer. You've got to be keeping up with that banish, because that is a huge cooldown that if you aren't ready for with that evade, it can take your life, especially with all the awakenings that Shionzu has available. But it's the barriers that are being taken here, as this Bozo Bunch team is looking to even things up here 1-1, but it looks like the Joker's going to have something to say about it as they get in there and get a kill for themselves with that Adrenaline Rush.
Another KO found for Joker, as this game is truly starting to heat up here, pushing for a little bit extra, not going to be able to find the barrier, and every single time they find these KOs, and Obscure Breads just turns into a monster holding on to the defense. They will finally be able to get one of those barriers. Joker going to be sent back into the recovery drone, will be back alive, no death timer for him, but does lose access to that for the rest of the set. KO found off the bottom, Dropletto caught too close to the wall, will be down. Joker beaten on Obscure Breads, trying to stop the defense, goes for the flip, goes for the rush, and finds the point. The Joker takes it up 2-0, one more goal, and Showtime will be winning the set.
I mean, Breads is just playing excellently on the defense. They're finding the perfect angles around these pillars. They have the perfect patience. But with Joker finding so many kills, eventually something has to crack, and it is the defense. It's now 2-0 in this set. Showtime's looking to clean things up, but that said, Dropletto is getting in there on this defense to help out. We'll have to see if which team can get the first barrier here, but Joker is looking for a quick kill, but does not find it. As now both sides back and forth, Obscure Breads has that flip available to help them out, as does Barcode, but there's another kill and another one in contention, as their X goes down, so does Era. It's the speed versus the brawler, but Obscure Breads going to take their own barrier. They're trying to catch up to the core. It's a tough situation.
Oh, nice place of the pillar. Nearly forces Obscure Breads to take an old barrier for the second time there. But the respawns have come on through. We're back to full-on 3-on-3. It's going to end up back through the portal. Joker trying to stun some folks up, trying to keep Eye out of the play. They will be able to send it back through the portal. Barcode keeping up on the defense. Does have access to the flip once it's necessary. Going in for the expanse to be able to keep things cleared out. Shionzu dueling back and forth with Dropletto. Dropletto trying to dribble it up the top. It goes back through the portal, back into Joker's hands, who's going to be able to take it in on towards that barrier. They open up the goal, and it's just one more shot that'll take Showtime all the way home. 2-0 win over the Bozo Bunch. They'll move themselves up to 2-3.
Just as the curtain rose, it has now fallen. The Banish taking the goalie just out of position, and with the core moving so fast, Joker makes excellent use and just slams it into that top side, winning this game. But that said, I mean, both teams really put on a performance here, back and forth. Obscure Breads on this defense, Dropletto on the offense, Eye running all about the field, making everything happen that they need for their team. But perhaps it was a bit of the weirdness of the rune pick that they weren't quite ready for, and Joker showing excellent mastery of X, getting perfect angles, perfect kills, and making full use of that adrenaline rush, with Barcode holding it down, even in the face of things like that Monumentalist Asher ult. It's just so difficult to keep up versus a team like this, but that they do, and they end up winning here. But beautiful performance.
Yep, the Rune comes alive there, finding some fantastic shots there. The Shadow Strikes really making it count and finding some real crucial points there. A couple of things for the Rune highlight reel going over to Shionzu, and plenty for the X highlight reel to Joker as well. Barcode doing a great job holding it down on the other side. And a close, well-fought series from Bozo Bunch will not be enough to even earn them a game win, and instead they will find themselves tied up with Showtime at 2-3 in the standings at the end of week number 5.